Praying in tongues is, for many, a fascinating mystery, for others, a practice shrouded in controversy. The phenomenon, widely associated with the Catholic Charismatic Renewal movement and Pentecost celebrations, arouses curiosity and, not rarely, suspicion. After all, is it an authentic gift of the Holy Spirit or just emotional exaggeration? To answer this question clearly, one must first understand the biblical, theological, and spiritual context surrounding this manifestation. In the narrative of Pentecost, as recounted in chapter 2 of the Acts of the Apostles, we see the disciples gathered when, suddenly, a mighty wind fills the house. Tongues of fire rest on each one, and they all begin to speak in different tongues, as the Spirit enabled them. It is interesting to note that this experience was not just a spectacle, but a profound moment of spiritual transformation. Those who, days before, were hiding in fear, now spoke boldly about Jesus Christ, and people from various nations understood them in their own languages. This is the key point. The gift was not for confusion, but for edification and unity. With the emergence of the charismatic renewal in the 1960s, this gift began to be experienced again by Catholic faithful around the world. Inspired by Protestant Pentecostal movements, this new spiritual breath brought to the Church a renewed emphasis on the action of the Holy Spirit, spontaneous prayer, charismatic gifts, and personal experience with God. In this context, the gift of tongues came to be understood not only as communication with other peoples but also as a form of intimate prayer, in which the spirit of the faithful addresses God directly, beyond the limitations of rational language. But that's where doubts begin. Many people, when witnessing groups praying in tongues, may feel uncomfortable or confused. After all, how can one trust something that seems illogical, even unintelligible? Couldn't it be merely the result of exaggerated emotion or a kind of collective hypnosis? These are legitimate questions that deserve consideration. From a theological point of view, the Catechism of the Catholic Church recognizes charisms as gifts of the Spirit, given for the common good, CCC 799-800. They are not signs of holiness or spiritual superiority, but tools that, when used with discernment, build up the community. The gift of tongues, in this sense, can be a valid means of personal or communal prayer, provided it is accompanied by a coherent Christian life and a sincere desire for communion with God. It must also be considered that not all people who live in authentic spirituality receive this gift. And that's okay. Paul, when writing to the Corinthians, had already warned of the danger of seeking certain gifts merely for appearance or a sense of spiritual power. If I do not have love, I am nothing, he said, 1 Cor 13-2. Love is the fundamental criterion for measuring the authenticity of any spiritual gift, including tongues. On the other hand, reducing all prayer in tongues to mere emotional exaggeration would be unfair and superficial. Various testimonies around the world point to experiences of inner healing, deliverance, and deep intimacy with God through this form of prayer. There are also academic studies, such as those conducted by neuroscientists in the United States, that show changes in brain function during prayer in tongues, suggesting that this practice may have concrete effects on the emotional and spiritual well-being of practitioners. Of course, like all religious manifestations, prayer in tongues should be lived with balance, respect, and discernment. It is not about imposition, nor premature judgment. A touch of humor can help us reflect. It's as if, in the silence of the heart, our soul wanted to make a direct call to God, but instead of using clear and formal Portuguese, decided to hum an unknown melody, yet deeply sincere. Is it strange? Perhaps. Is it beautiful? For those who listen with the ears of faith, certainly. Men and women who live out their faith in their daily routines, amid work, family, and everyday challenges, often long for a living spirituality that goes beyond ritual and touches the heart. The charismatic renewal proposes just that, a faith experience that involves the whole being, mind, body, emotions, and spirit. Praying in tongues can be, along this path, a valid resource to open oneself more fully to the action of God. But it will never be an end in itself. It does not replace the sacraments, the reading of the Word, or service to others. It is merely one of the many ways through which the Spirit may blow wherever He wills. Perhaps the best posture is one of respectful openness. If someone feels moved to pray this way, let them do so with humility. If another does not feel comfortable, let them continue seeking the Lord in ways that are more natural to them. The Holy Spirit is not confined to formulas. He blows where He wills, how He wills, and when He wills, including in the surprises that faith holds for us. The richness of the Church lies precisely in the diversity of its charisms, expressions, and cultures. Praying in tongues may seem strange at first glance, but if lived with love, faith, and discernment, it can be a bridge between the human soul and the mystery of God. A mystery that, at times, requires no translation to be understood. After all, heaven speaks all languages, even those we have not yet learned.